Hey everybody, what's up? It's me, Jon D. Villarreal, the four-time national champion and the super genius, and I'm talking about Game of Thrones. This was incredible. It's getting better and better, and it's really building up right here. Now, there's a lot of stuff that happened in this episode, and there was once again, there was a lot of subtle, very subtle things right here. Now, I'm sure most of you have seen it, so I'm not going to hit on the big, broad themes as much. I'm going to focus on those subtle things and talk about what I think about them. I want to hear what you think about them. First and foremost, what is with this, in my opinion? First of all my personal opinion, only knowledge, any facts, not casting any aspersions, all for entertainment purposes only. Please check the disclaimers. What about that chemistry between Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen, in my opinion? That was very intense. And what about Daenerys using that dragon to, take care of the Tarleys right there? What is that going to do for our wannabe Maester friend there in the Citadel who left the Citadel? Now, that's a very interesting situation there with that whole thing. And remember about that whole sword. I think it all comes into play down the road. So I think that now, he's really coming into his own right there, Tarly. And he's showing elements of bravery, taking out the White Walker and stuff like that, escaping them all, doing all kinds of different things. So I think he's really going to start ramping up. He learned a lot there in the Citadel. We're going to see some things on there. That's number one. Number two, we're going to get back to the Jon Snow thing. Number two, what kind of leader is Daenerys going to be? Is she going to be like her father? They say that, Tyrion said that she's not. But there's some elements of, is she measured enough? Okay, or she just want to just take over? She really wants to take out Cersei. She wants that throne. But definitely we see, windows and glimpses into more wisdom and stuff like that. Which way is she going to go? Where is that going to end up, in my opinion? I think it'll all be okay in the end, but we definitely see, flashes of the same old, if you will. Whether that be, rulers of Westeros or maybe same old on Targaryens. So that's very interesting. Now, let's get back to the Jon Snow thing. I think we see some heat right there between Snow and Targaryen, particularly from Daenerys' side. And when Snow's leaving to go north and stuff like that, you could see the look. And then you see Tyrion's like, oh, okay. That was very interesting to me. So I think that's foreshadowing some stuff coming up there right there. But I want to rewind that because pretty much, in my opinion, the most interesting thing to happen in this episode was when that dragon came down and got in Jon Snow's face. But then Snow just soothed the savage beast, and it was almost like the dragon recognized him by scent. Now, does this go back to what Lady Melisandre said, if I remember the name correctly, the lady, the Red Priest and stuff like that? Is Jon Snow the prophesized one, or one of them, right? I think, yes, Jon Snow right there, and I think that shocked Daenerys. She's like, what's going on here? Because she wants everybody to bend the knee, and it almost was like a power move by her. But all of a sudden, it's like, wait a minute, maybe not. So that right there, that interaction between Snow and the dragon, to me, was very, very telling. So that's, I think, setting something up for the future. Now, the Baratheon kid coming back, Snow and him teaming up, that's also very interesting. Clearly, in my opinion, he's going to have a hand to play in all this. So that's very interesting right there. But I also want to talk about Bran. The Three-Eyed Raven sent his ravens north and everything like that, right? But they were dispersed by the King of the Night. See? So that right there, what level of power does the King of the Night have? That was very, very powerful right there. He immediately sensed it and dispersed them. So he has a lot of power. We knew that, but we haven't seen the full extent of his power. What also very much interested me in this episode was the interaction between Arya and Sansa. Arya calling Sansa out, being able to sense things, being able to sense the politics, right? Seeing more there. It's like, wait a minute, you know, I remember the old Sansa. Other people may not have seen that, but I've seen that. But then we see some new things here. You know, she didn't like the whole thing of Sansa in, you know, her dad and mom's bedroom and everything like that. That was interesting. But also she sees it. Wasn't happy that Sansa wasn't sticking up for Jon as much. So they each have their angles, if you will. And I think that, you know, Sansa is definitely more versed in the politics of different things. But you can see where with Arya is she has a huge skill set, and she's very into, you know, loyalty and things like that. Now, looked like at the very end there, she was getting played by Littlefinger. She did see what was going on there, so they each kind of have the drop on each other. But it seems like, in my opinion, by seeing that, it looks like Littlefinger planted some information. And it probably was misinformation. So, you know, it looks like Littlefinger is trying to pit the siblings against each other. I don't think that's going to work in the end, but I think it's going to be very interesting and revealing. What game is Littlefinger playing, and how far can it go? But of course, we have to talk about Cersei and Jaime. Oh my goodness, another baby. Cersei's playing that game. Cersei's looking to lure the Dragon Queen in. Jaime knows they can't win militarily. The dragons are too powerful. But what game is Cersei going to play, and how far is she going to play it? If they see that, if they have the dead warrior there, I don't know if Cersei totally believes it or not. Maybe, maybe not, but I don't think she does. But I mean, once they see that proof, will that wake them up? Will Cersei be able to drop the quest for power? And to me, it's very interesting. I was thinking about this today, and I'm sure other people have said this at some point. You know, I haven't seen it. Obviously, there's tons of stuff out there, so I mean, it would be, you know, impossible to see it all and stuff like that. But you know, Cersei to me represents kind of like, you know, we have the dragons, we have the fire, the ice, and all these different, and the mythical powers, and this, and all that type of stuff. But Cersei represents kind of like science and man, you know, fighting against these things and politics. And she's a master of the politics. She's a master of the moves. She's a master of keeping control of the power. And somehow, no matter how it all goes, she figures out a way to stay right at the top or very near the top. And trying to control, having you know, humankind controlling their fate. Think about this: the mountain, he gets killed, whatever, and then uses this, you know, Qyburn with the Frankenstein monster type of thing to kind of keep him alive, if you will. You know, you know, and then also you have because Qyburn's a maester, but like a different kind of maester. It's kind of funky, and then a maester tinkerer and all kinds of stuff. And then also when you think about like when she took out the High Septum, using the explosives, you know, using the, you know, that kind of technology or weaponry, taking on the dragons and everything like that. You know, oh, we're just going to build a super big, you know, a ballista basically. And so, you know, that seems to be the thing. But at some point, it seems to be the part of the message of the series is there's larger forces in play. And at what point does Cersei realize, hey, you know, there's something beyond here, and beyond the gold and the crown and all that type of stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see how far that character pushes it. And again, I somehow believe that there's going to be some divergence from the books with these characters. I mean, you see how important Cersei is, and certainly Jaime, and it was very interesting to see Jaime and Tyrion reconnect. And there's a lot building up here. There's a lot building up. But to me, the interaction with Jon and the dragon, I think, was very powerful. The Night King flexing his muscles and showing more elements of his power. And also seeing the moves between, you know, the siblings and stuff like that. But particularly, like, you know, I think how far is Cersei willing to push it? Will she be part of the problem, or will she be part of the solution? And so it's an interesting question right there, because I can see it both ways. I can see her coming to her senses at the very end, you know, to try to, you know, save everyone. At the same time, I could see this character just being so locked in. She's so good at being bad that maybe that's it. But with her being pregnant, maybe that changes the game. So much to talk about. Great episode. Wasn't as much action as before, but it set so many pieces in play. And we need to see Littlefinger get his just desserts, if you will, or come up as however you want to say it. That's what I think about that. So I cannot wait till the next episode. It's going to be very, very interesting. Let me know what you think. Give me the comments below. Please subscribe. Please rate this video up. Also, please post it on your social networking site. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Jon D. Villarreal, the 4-time national champion and the super genius. You're watching Conservative New Media. I will see you next time.